is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/bgunlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Hero Realms, and a little bonus, I will be doing a discussion over the Ruins of Fandar adventure book. So, this game is kind of a testimony to how far I've come as kind of a game player, because I used to hate deck builders, like hate them, and I also hated deck construction, but that's a different story. But then I started playing deck builders that kind of had a twist to them, and they weren't just your box standard, hey, just buy cards, put them in a deck, and see what happens. I don't know what happened, but I've completely, gone, 180 on that to where now, I love deck builders, and Hero Realms is no exception. This is such a clean deck builder. And in this discussion, I'm not going to be comparing it to Star Realms. I've only ever played Star Realms as in the app form, so I don't think that's quite a one-to-one comparison. But, they're pretty much the same game. It's just, hey, fantasy or sci-fi. And I love fantasy. But I did also back that Star Realms, Nova collection, so I am excited for that. But Hero Realms is such a clean deck builder. And it plays, in a 1v1. So whenever everyone starts out with the same deck, you have a market that on your turn you spend gold to buy items that are going to either heal you or give you more gold or give you combat to be able to attack your opponent. You end up buying cards that are going to be champions that will go in front of you to protect you, so your opponent isn't always attacking you. They have to go through your minions first. One thing that I love about this game is that whenever you're drawing your hand of cards, a lot of games, and this one kind of does too, but a lot of games require you to play cards in a specific order. Okay, I need to play this one because this is going to give me this, which then allows me to play this. And some cards are like that. For example, in the Blazing Staff, it's if you have 2 or more actions in play, draw a card. And so you want to get your 2 actions in play and then play that to allow you to draw the card. But in all reality, there's so much freedom on your turn, which I just love. So you sit here and you're okay, I'm gonna play these 2 cards that's gonna give me combat. And you don't have to assign combat immediately. There's no attack phase or anything like that. You really just sit here and be okay, well now I have a spark. Okay, so now I have 7. So my ignites gave me 2, the spark gave me 3, so now I have 7. I'll play intimidation, that's 12, death touch, that's 14, blazing staff, that's 17 damage. Okay, so I have a 17 in my combat pool. And you assign that as you see fit. You look at their champions, you're okay, well that's your highest one, it has a guard, it has 9, I have to attack that leaves me with 8 attack. So you have another champion of 4, so then I'll kill him, and then the remaining 4 damage is going to go to you. This game is so clean in how you're buying stuff. It's just okay, well I have 5 gold, okay, this costs 3, I'll buy that, and I'll draw that, okay, well that costs 8, I can't afford that, but I'll just buy this, put it in my deck, and boom, your turn is done. It's so clean and streamlined. The way that these bonuses pop off on each other, for example, the dragon Arcus, the Imperial Dragon. It's a yellow card or yellow faction. Obviously, its bonus doesn't apply to it, but okay, well here's a man at arms, so this does have 1, so that's going to play off that, so I can heal as well as exhaust him to get the 5 damage and draw a card. There's not a pick one or anything like that. You just get those extra abilities for having the type of combinations. One of the things that I do also really like about this game is that there are 4 factions, and you would think, okay, well, I'll stick to one faction. That's gonna be the most efficient way. And you'd be right. But also, the various combinations, because there's going to be ones that are yellow is obviously going to be more about healing. Red's more about instant stuns or being able to mill your deck a little bit to clean it out, get rid of your boring gold cards to where you're literally only drawing these monster hands of damage. Because at the end of the day, that's how you win. You're gonna need to take care of your opponent, and you can't win by just healing yourself over and over and over. So yeah, like I really have very few complaints about this game. I mean, there are very minor squabbles with it. And it's really more with the campaign side of things than it is the actual game. But here's the other thing I got to tell you, and I don't remember if Star Realms has done this. I'm sure it has at this point. But Hero Realms, what set it apart was that they were the same game, Star Realms and Hero Realms. But Hero Realms came out with these hero packs. And the hero packs are really what make this game a lot of fun because they give you a deck builder where you kind of start out a little bit different. As the wizard, like he has this amount of health, and then but he has like that fireball, and he also has the way to kind of do some extra card draws, whereas a fighter would have a different set of cards, or the rogue, and they are your very bog standard fantasy. You have a wizard, you have a rogue or a thief, you have a ranger, fighter, and cleric. Like those are the 5 that you have, but the fact that they even include those to where you kind of start off a little bit different, you have your own unique little deck and ways that you would fight one another is really nice. And then you just kind of build upon that with the actual deck building. I mean, I know I'm behind the curve. I know this game came out a long time ago, and it's like, really, Hero Realms? But this one was just one that I always kind of stayed away from. It was kind of like I know it's probably a good deck builder, but I'm just not even going to bother with it. What actually got me to get it was because I played this White Wizard Games' latest game, which is Sorcerer, and that game is top notch. So I was like, okay, well I'll check out Hero Realms, and then I knew of Star Realms, so I was like, okay, I'll check out. I'll just play this because I know it's fantasy and I love fantasy. But there's a lot of combinations here. A lot of just clean, streamlined, pure deck building, and that's what I love about it. Now, let's get to this little adventure book, The Ruins of Fandar. This is a neat little adventure. Like I said, there are a few things that I'm not too. It's not that I really don't have a whole lot of negatives, honestly, with this, because it pretty much plays like your regular 1v1, and the fact that you can play it solo. And at the beginning I was like, man, I'm gonna get screwed. I thought there was gonna be no way that the solo variant was gonna work, but it did. And I understand that it would be more there'd be more cards and more stuff going on with the enemies as if there are more players. But the fact that it worked really well as a solo game, and I didn't feel overwhelmed. I was actually able to do a lot of awesome combinations without being dicked over too much was really nice. This is kind of your standard fantasy. Okay, well, you have these 3 acts, which I will say I love. They were so quick. They didn't get bogged down in anything. It was kind of exciting. They had some cards that could pop up, and it's like, hey, if this happens, then go to this chapter. And it's like, oh, okay. Because you see this little book and you think, oh, okay, well there's 3 encounters in this adventure, so that should be done really quick. But then you go through it, and then there's a few more extra chapters. And I like the fact that depending on the way that the ritual happened, that would be a different endgame boss, and he would be a little bit different than the other ones. I think that's pretty neat. You could easily go through this with a higher difficulty, more players to see how that would work out with your combination, because the way the monster actually works, or the master, is he kind of takes up a seat. So whenever you can aid one another, like if minions are coming to one enemy or one player, you can actually aid them. Unless you're also being attacked, then you can't, unless you have specific abilities that let you have the focus keyword, which then allow you to, okay, well, I can still help out or heal. But if it's me and then another player, then the master, and then another player, he actually breaks up because you can only aid people who are seated next to you. But yeah, this is just kind of your bog standard adventure book, and I think they kind of went the safe route with it because I think this is the first one. Obviously, it sounds like that there is another one, the Lost Village campaign deck. I don't even know if that's out at this point. I think it is, but I definitely want to see more. I want to see them expand upon this game with, just like I believe they did with Star Realms, with a bunch of expansions, like the market deck. Whereas, like I said, this game is very streamlined and very clean. It would be pretty cool to see a variety within the market deck. I did like that within each encounter, like there were different cards. There were different encounter cards that went into the master's deck, and then they also had these neat abilities. It's such a clean way to incorporate what the master does, because when you draw a card, it does its effect, but also has a color, and all you do is look at the color and the match the color, and then it tells you what to do, that they do something special, while also having some creature or some hazard or action or some event that goes off, and it's just like, oh, okay, so that kind of screws me. And then even then, like, it also tells you, okay, well, this is how many cards it's going to draw, or like as it, or how's it going to level up with the master or the mastery gems that are going to cause it to level up and make it even more disgusting. So I think that the way that they handle the masters is so clean. There's no extra, you're not like, oh crap, okay, well, where's the rules? So there's like 17 different keywords in here, so I gotta read all those. Oh man, what does that do? But once again, the kind of setup is not 100% clear. There were a few times where I was like, so am I supposed to have this? And like, I know they give you these action points and things like that, and it sounds like they wanted it to be a continuation, because I'm sitting here, and as the wizard, I have like these level 4 like abilities and level 5 abilities, and I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to get to those? But then you realize, okay, well, I got a character ability, so then I can look and I can get my level 3 ability that gives me like a pure channel or a soul channel, or I can pick any one of these, and those would be pretty good. Or I can start on a new ability, and that might be pretty neat, and it'll carry over into the actual the other campaign. So I like that. I like that sense of progression. I do like the special abilities, and as you go through the encounters, you have options, and you can kind of be a little bit unique. I definitely went for, because I knew he himself doesn't deal a whole lot of damage or have a lot of health, so I definitely wanted that card advantage. So I made ways to use my gold to allow me to draw cards to ensure that I was getting the cards that I was buying quicker. But there's a lot of variety. Like the fireball just shoots up into some explosive or searing fireball as you pick them. Then the channels, you can actually get to one where you start healing. I like the little treasures that are random that can kind of dictate what you do. The other thing that I liked about this was it's a little book, like it's a little campaign book, but they had a little bit of choices in here, and I did think that was nice. Like after obviously your first bar fight, that's gonna be the very first thing that happens. You immediately come to a choice of, okay, do you want to follow the humans or the imp? And then okay, well, I fight the imp, and then that choice will come back into the third act, and I thought that was pretty neat. And then depending on the cards that she summons, like I said, that's going to be a different demon, and he'll fight a little bit different. So I think this is a pretty neat little story. I'm very excited for the next one and the continuation of that. And because it's very light and it's a short encounter with just 3, it took me maybe a couple hours to actually just play the whole booklet. It wasn't this bog thing where now every campaign has to have hours of each session, and then you're like, okay, what do I get? How do I play this campaign and feel like I'm progressing? Oh, it's gonna take a year. Okay. Oh, well, there's 50 campaign games coming out. Oh, all right. Well, I'm saying that's a bad thing. I love that because I'm an avid video game player, so I love having stories and campaigns to do. But it's like sometimes it's like, can I just get a little piece? Can I just have a short campaign that lets me progress a little bit, feel a little bit different, feel like I beat the big bad guy, and then just be done? And this campaign did that. So, very much enjoyed the Ruins, or the Ruin of Fandar. I'm definitely going to be checking out the, Lost Village? Yeah, the Lost Village. I'm going to be looking for that. The one actually big negative of this entire game is the storage system. This is the cheapest way I can see a game being stored. Almost not the cheapest way. The Exceed game is the cheapest way I can see that game being stored. But they made, it's not like the worst thing, but like they made these little dividers that are really just pictures, and it's like you have to figure out how you want to store it. But the other problem is that if you buy all the packs like I did, and the campaign that like I did, then you're gonna, like, it was so difficult to figure out, okay, so what is specific to the wizard? Like, what's the market deck? What's the common deck that everyone's gonna start with? What's the campaign stuff? What's the boss decks? Like, how am I organizing all that? And it took me a long time to actually figure out how to organize it in this box. I mean, once you do, then you got it, but it's like, it should not have been that hard. That's probably the biggest negative, is this kind of storage system, because also at some point, well, apparently there's going to be a new campaign, so where am I going to put that? Is that going to fit in here? How am I going to organize it in there? So hopefully, what I'm hoping they do is do another, like a collection, like on Kickstarter, like they did for Star Realms, to kind of deluxify this one. But I feel like Star Realms kind of is more popular than this is. But like I said, I really like it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with Hero Realms as a whole, you know, as a 1v1 game, and then also as a adventure book that you can also play solo or with up to 5 players, like with all the heroes, I'm gonna give Hero Realms an 8. Like, I think it is a very solid deck building game, little deck building game that you can just play. I love the uniqueness of the different classes that you have, and the fact that you have a campaign book that has some choices in it, that it's not going to be always the same each time you play it. That is nice. But that's it, everyone. That's my thoughts on Hero Realms and the campaign Ruin of Fandar. Let me know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.